This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Philly Sports Guys Show. Today is Monday, August 29th. We're almost done with August. We're getting done with the dog days of summer and getting into fall. Preseason has ended. There's no more preseason games going on. There's a lot happening, and we're going to get right into it this morning, starting off with the Phillies. We're talking about the Fightins. The Fightins. And of course, yesterday wasn't necessarily the best day for them, but they have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Up until yesterday, they had won 21 of 26 games. Losing 5 games really in the whole month of August was great. And we have a couple more games where they could actually try to actually break a record for the most wins in a month for the franchise of all time. So it's been a good year, but unfortunately yesterday wasn't necessarily the best. But let's start off on Friday when the Pittsburgh Pirates came to town. And of course, there was another came back as well with the Pirates, and his name was Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, who had been gone for a little over 60 days, I think it was in total 62 days, comes back and in his first at bat, hits 2 RBIs. He had the bases loaded for him. Unfortunately, he didn't get the dinger, but definitely beats the shift, hits one down the line, and gets 2 RBIs right off the bat and comes back with a vengeance. Didn't necessarily have a great weekend, but definitely is back, and it's great to see him back in the lineup. Batting fourth this time around because the guys that have been hitting, they wanted to keep in those spots. And that's and that's the one thing that I can trust about Thompson is that he understands about baseball and how everything is just the way they want to keep doing things the way they've been doing them. And for 2 months' time, without Bryce Harper in the lineup. They had been playing around and trying to get everything in order. And right now, for the last 3 weeks, it's been Bohm in the number 3 spot. So when Bryce came back, I'm sure he was spoken to about, hey, listen, do you mind if you get into the number 4 spot? And he was okay with that. And ultimately, the top 3 spots in the lineup remained the same with Schwarber, who finally came back. He was back again. Like I said, he had a small little stint out while he was recuperating from, I think it was a strain of some sort. And yesterday, of course, you did not see Reese Hoskins in the lineup because he got a day off. But ultimately, it's been Schwarber, Reese Hoskins, and then Alec Bohm in the number 3 spot. So, of course, Bryce Harper gets in the number 4 spot. And what happens against the Pirates? The first 3 batters get on base. number fourth batter being Bryce Harper, knocks in 2 RBIs, winds up getting the player of the game just because of that at bat alone. And the Phillies win on Friday 7-4. On Saturday, they keep taking care of business and continue the mastery of the Pirates. Again, taking that game 6-0. And that game, why is this phone always having a problem? There we go. Wins that game 6-0. Kyle Gibson, 7 strong innings, gives up 6 hits and 9 Ks. Was a great day on Saturday. And they score 6 runs in the first 3 innings. They don't need to score any more as the game gets over in like 2.5 hours. It was actually a fairly quick game, which is nice because actually it was just under 3 hours. But it was nice because after playing these long games against the Mets, it was just really tough. So games have been going pretty quickly. So Ed Kyle Gibson, he goes to 9-5 with 7 innings pitched. The loss goes to Tyler Beede, who was 1-4. He had 3 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned with 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. But Castellanos was doing well. Gibson does great. Castellanos was the one who actually hits a homer in that one. I believe he had 3 RBIs on the day. Let me make sure that I am correct with that. Oh, he has 1 RBI. He went 1 for 4. Who got the 3 RBI? Oh, I'm sorry. That was Real Muto, who's also been having a really good ever since the All-Star break, and he didn't go up to Toronto. He has been on fire. I think he's batting somewhere around 350 since that Toronto series where he did not go up there. So he's really turned it on, and hopefully between him, hopefully Castellanos can start to come on strong. We only need him to come on strong this month. Hopefully he has a great September that can move into October. Also, Kyle Schwarber has not been doing so great. He did hit a home run the other day. But for the most part, he's been kind of quiet since August, since the calendar turned to August. So hopefully he can come back together in September as we get ready for this final push and the hunt for Red October being on. Right now, the Phillies are a couple of games up. Also, yesterday they lost 5-0. The bats went quiet. They only had 4 hits on the day, and the Pirates hit a couple of triples. The loss goes to Noah Syndergaard, who went 5 2/3 innings, gives up 9 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned on 5 strikeouts and a walk. The winner goes to Contreras, who I thought would have been a great pickup for the Phillies. If you remember, they faced him at the end of July, and he kind of did the same thing to them then, too. They think the Phillies won 3 of 4 against the Pirates. Their only loss coming to Contreras, and ultimately he did the same thing again to the Phillies. He goes to 4-4. Like I said, he had 5 innings pitched, 3 hits he gave up, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Like I said, he's a good guy, and maybe be interested in trying to pick him up in the offseason if the Pirates are willing to part with him. It seems like the Pirates are always a little bit of a dumpster fire. They built that new stadium and then have been getting rid of their players anytime they start to get real good. Some Pirates people would like to say that they are just real close to actually breaking through the mold, but I just don't see that happening. Either way, Bryce Harper on this day, I believe he got one of the hits. He did get one of the hits off of them. And Matt Vierling, 2 hits on the day. So he was the only one that seemed to be doing anything against that. He also got a base on ball. So 3 plate appearances, 3 times on base. So he was the only one who brought the bat yesterday. Everybody else took a snooze, and that's okay. Like I said, when you've won 21 games out of 27, that's a hot streak. That is a hot streak. So moving forward, where do they stand right now in the playoff push? Let's get out of there. It's killing me here. My phone is killing me. I'm always using the Score app. That's how I get all of my things together. As of right now in the National League, the Phillies are 9.5 games back from the Mets, who didn't have a great weekend. Actually, they did not have a great week. After they got done playing the Phillies, they have not bode really well. The Yankees win a couple of games against them, and then I think that, they lost 2 of 3 against who they were playing last. So we're 9.5 games out of the division. I don't think that we're going to get that division. The Braves are 3 games out from the division as well. And in the wild card standings, right now, we are 6.5 games back from the Braves on the number 1 wild card spot, and 2.5 games above the Padres, and 4 games above the Brewers, who hold, right now the Padres hold that last spot, and they are a game and a half up on the Brewers, who are still trying to fight maybe the Cardinals, but I think that ship may have sailed, as they are 6 games back against the Cardinals right there. And so it's possible that they could get that 3rd wild card spot, because, again, the Padres aren't doing very well either. The Braves had a tough series. They lost 2 of 3 to the Cardinals this week. And as we go forward, the Dodgers and the Mets start a 3-game series, I believe, tomorrow. I don't believe that they start today. Let me make sure of that. Oh, no, they do start today. So this will be a 4-game series. It will be. This will be a 4-game series up in New York. So who knows what's going to happen at the end of this and how this all works out. Actually, it is a 4-game series. Okay, perfect. I wanted to make sure that was the case. And the Phillies go to Arizona, and they start today. They got Ranger Suarez, who's pitched pretty well in his last couple of outings, going up against Madison Bumgarner, who is not the Bumgarner of old, but always likes to pitch against the Phillies for some reason. Out of nowhere, he could be stinking all day long, but next thing you know, he'll pitch a gem against the Phillies. He goes tonight. The game starts at 9:40. Again, Ranger Suarez bringing an 8-5 record and a 3.38 ERA. So against Madison Bumgarner, who is 6-13 with a 4.53 ERA. And that's how. And then, of course, we have Aaron Nola going up against Arizona tomorrow, who's going to get their ace, Gallen, who is 9-2 with a 2.66 ERA. So they do have a good pitcher over there. And then, of course, Barry Falter against Henry in the last game of this series. In the last game of that series before their day off, because this is going to be a stretch of, I think it's 17 games in a row without a day off here. 17 or 18. Is it 17? Because they did have that doubleheader, and that's what kind of confuses me. It might be I think it's 17 games in a row without a day off, and then they get their day off on Thursday as they turn the calendar for September 1st. So an interesting couple days that we should be able to make up some ground if we take care of business against the Diamondbacks. There was a lot of other sports that happened this weekend, and quickly to a quick break, and I will come back and we'll be talking about the Eagles, who had a game against Miami, had a couple practices against Miami, and, well, they only had one practice against Miami because Miami had a little bit of a stomach flu going around, and they said no practice on Tuesday or Thursday and let the Eagles practice by themselves, and then came back and played a game on Saturday that really isn't worth mentioning, but we're going to talk about it either way because ultimately, Eagles own Philadelphia amongst all the teams here. So we'll be back right after these messages, and we could talk about everything that's going on that else happened in Philadelphia sports.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this
I'm
team.
ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get us any.
What's up, everybody? Philly Sports Guy here. and it's fantasy football season. And if you want me to announce your order of your draft, all you have to do is go to Cameo. Go ahead and look up the Philly Sports Guy and tell me who's in your draft, and I'll choose who goes first, who goes last, so that you don't have to worry about whether the commissioner's cheating and getting the first pick again this year. So reach out to the Philly Sports Guy on Cameo for not only fantasy football, but for all your messaging needs. I'll give you a shout out. I'll get happy birthday. I can say hello to the troops overseas or anything else you want to have messaged about. So reach out for the Philly Sports Guy on Cameo. And go Birds! Yeah!
About me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Wait, no, you gotta get me at the random. I'm not prepared.
What a wonderful world. They're really saying I love you. What a wonderful.
What's up, everybody? Philly Sports Guy here, and I'm here at the Media Primo Hoagies with my main man, Brandon. And I tell you, he just started an Instagram, so if you're hungry for a hoagie, you want to come to the media spot in downtown Media is where you'll find Brandon making these hoagies fresh for you. And trust me, it's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. Yeah!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Philly Sports Guy. As my camera gets a little crazy there. Anyways, as we are talking about it, Philly Sports Trips, we got over 800 people going to Washington to go welcome back Carson Wentz to the NFC East, and we're going to be taking care of business. We're taking over that stadium. You can come with us, and like I said, we have over 800. We only have a few more seats left, so definitely come and go with Philly Sports Trips. But not only that, we're going to all the away games. You could come with us to Chicago, Houston, Indianapolis. Hey, we're also going to Nashville. We're going to see the Flyers versus the Predators. But not only that, we're going to be celebrating a birthday of this guy. So please come on out. Go to phillysportstrips.com/TPSG. Let them know that the Philly Sports Guy sent you, and we can go and travel to all of the games. It's going to be a lot of fun this year watching the Birds beat up all the competition, and you could be there with me and amongst other people as we have Hollis Thomas, Bell and the Birdman from their podcast, along with the rest of the Philly Sports Trips family. Come check us out and sign up for these trips now. And as we're talking about Philly Sports Trips and all the things that we're going to be doing, there was a game that we played on Saturday. And, well, I can't say that we played it because it really did not. We did not play this game. They really mailed this one in from the very onset. I think the very first play of the game, you had Tua to Tyreek and for 51 yards. And I think I learned everything I needed to know about Tua for this year. Expect the Dolphins to have a new quarterback next year because that pass stunk out loud. You know, obviously, if you're going to have that type of speed of a wide receiver, you better get the ball to him in motion. And he couldn't do that. He had to come back to that ball. And unfortunately, I don't think Tua is going to be the answer there. But they did score a lot of points, 48 points on the Eagles. like I said, I think that game was kind of mailed in. They just didn't really care much about playing it. And because of that, that's why the score was so high. That being said, we are coming on to we're cutting it down to 53 men. Tomorrow is the deadline. I think it's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And I think that there's going to be a few people that make this cut and a couple of guys that are going to get traded here either today or tomorrow. First off, I think the one guy who's going to probably disappear off the roster is Jalen Reagor. There have been some interest from other teams about Jalen Reagor. I think Jalen Reagor has actually had a pretty good camp. He probably would do better as getting started off with another team. Either way, if they do decide to keep him, I think that he'll be a great number 4 receiver, and I think that he'll actually do really well this year because of all of the other receivers we have. Him hiding behind, yeah, I'm sorry, Brown and Smith, and really Quez Watkins. And you have Dallas Goddard. I think that when you have him as your 5th option or even a 4th option, he's going to get a lot of balls because he's going to have man-to-man coverage, and his routes have been a lot crisper this year. He's been catching the balls that he didn't catch last year. So you never know. I kind of believe that if he does, he will make the roster, but he may get traded as there is some interest in him across the league. The other guy that there is some interest in across the league is Andre Dillard. So a couple of the number 1 picks over the last couple of years are getting some interest. Yep, that's correct. That's correct, Chris. I know that Chris gives me all of my messages, but there has been some major interest on Dillard from across the state in Pittsburgh as they need some help on their offensive line. I know that right now they're talking about it being a 3rd-round pick. I think you need to go higher than that. I'm a big fan of having a lot of depth on our offensive line and our defensive line. As of right this moment, before any cuts are made, the Eagles have 10 backups on the offensive line. Are they going to be able to carry 15 guys into the regular season? I do not believe that that can happen. I do believe that there's going to be some guys that are going to be put onto the practice squad. The moment they get on the practice squad, what will happen is that obviously teams could pick them up as free, but I feel that they need as much depth as possible. So, and I believe that Dillard would make this roster if he does not get traded, but they may actually try to trade him. And there's going to be a little bit of a bidding war because there were a few linemen that got hurt this last couple of games. I would love to see them get a 2nd-round pick or maybe even a very late 1st-round pick as well. KJ saying he wants to hear about a potential trade for Jalen Reagor. I hear that Jalen Reagor, it's possible that he could go back with in Jacksonville. That Jacksonville may be interested in trading for him, that they could use an extra wide receiver on that squad. I've also heard the potential of Denver. And also, I don't believe anything that comes from Seattle right now just because of the way that they're doing things there. But it's possible. I think that either Denver, where they could use probably another guy to be able to give a little bit more support to Wilson over there, or he could wind up back with Doug Peterson over in Jacksonville. So either way, again, he was a 1st-round pick. I don't know that we're going to be able to get a number 1 or even a number 2 for him, but they may get like a 3rd and a 7, or maybe even like a 4th and 2 4th-round picks or something like that. I think that's about where he's going to rank there. I think surprise guys that are going to make this squad. I'm real big on speed. Fine, they put him where I believe he's going to be best served, and that is Devin Allen. That guy is just a speed demon, speed demon. You saw him covering those punts. He just gets down the field. He had that guy wrapped up and was able to, he wasn't able to get the full tackle. I think he only got credited for half a tackle there, but was able to hold him up right at the 5-yard line. So it literally, and he was down there a couple of times just burning past those guys. Those gunners are going to be good. And I think that if he can catch those punt, he would be an amazing punt returner. So if by chance Jalen Reagor does get traded, I think Devin Allen, first off, I think Devin Allen makes this squad anyways as a special teamer. And ultimately, he would be like that 5th wide receiver that you could throw out there, and just him and Quez Watkins being the burners on the side. You could get down the field very, very quickly if somebody could throw to him. I like those two guys in general. Well, like I said, I like him to make the squad. Other guys that I believe are going to make the squad. Unfortunately, I do not think. I mean, let's talk about the other quarterbacks that are on this team. Gardner Minshew had an okay. I mean, it wasn't even very good. So he is obviously going to make the team as the number 2. But the number 3, first off, Carson Strong just did not do very well in camp at all. At all. He just had a terrible camp in general. And I think they're going to probably put him on the practice squad. Another team may not even get on the practice squad. However, I'd probably keep him over Sinnott. Sinnott just was, every time I looked at him, he was not great. He was not great at all. That's where I'd like to see him at, KJ. I would love to see him as a punt returner. I think that his speed would really transcend on that. Somebody trying to call me right then and there. I think his speed would transcend on kickoffs and punt returns. That's the one big deal that you saw when the guy from Chicago, is his name his name escapes me right this second. He used to just be that human joystick where he used to get around and score those touchdowns. Speed was his big deal, and I think Devin Allen's got it. So it would be great to see him do that. But as of right now, I think that it's going to be, the Eagles may be in the market for a third quarterback, because as of right now, they have Hurts, obviously, is their number 1, Gardner Minshew their number 2, and nobody really emerged as the number 3 quarterback for them. So yes, Devin Hester was the name I was thinking about. Thank you very much, KJ. So real quickly, as we only have a couple of minutes left to go, the other team in Philadelphia, let's talk about it. They are a first place team. They have been killing it out there. The last 3 games that they've played at home have ended 7-0, 6-0, and 6-0. And scoring that many goals in soccer is unheard of. The Union break the record for most games that they've had that they've scored, that they've won by 6. The highest was Kansas City. They had 3 games where they won by 6 a couple of years ago. The Union have won 4 games this year by 6 or more goals. And like I said, the last 3 games that they have played here have been 7-0, 6-0, and 6-0. So when you're beating teams 20-0 and you're on your home field, it is something great. So the Union are just getting ready, and the playoffs are coming soon. It's going to really be a crazy October and November because we're going to have Red October with the Phillies. We're going to have the Union going into the playoffs really strong. They're right now only I think 2 points behind, or maybe even 3 points behind LAFC for the Supporter Shield, but they are in first place in the East, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to even catch them. So they're going to be really going to the playoffs, and I want them to quite possibly be the next team to win a championship. Phillies could get hot and get a little bit of luck on their side and maybe win a World Series before the MLS championship, but that's going to be a little hard pressed on the Phillies to do. I'm not sure they have all the pitching in place to be able to do that properly, but I do think that this is the Union's year, and look forward to them. I kind of believe that it's going to be LAFC versus the Philadelphia Union for the MLS Cup. And I expect that the Union's going to be bringing home their hardware, their first cup, and the first trophy that goes into the coffers there for the Union. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really exciting next couple of months. Anyways, our 30 minutes is up. It goes fast when we got a lot to talk about. So stay tuned. As for tomorrow, we will be back talking more about the Phillies and who makes the cut and who doesn't with the Eagles. I'm looking forward to that. So come tune in tomorrow for another episode of the Philly Sports Guy Show. And as always, go Philly. Yeah. Have a great one, guys.